readjusted some of my mic settings and adjusted where the mic placement was. Instead of having the one down here and then the one up inside the helmet, I opted just for the helmet one. We'll see how that works out. I gotta talk for a little bit right now and then check this video afterwards. So yeah, figured I'd go on a ride to do this, that way I've got all the wind noise, all the engine noise, and this is a good opportunity for me to think. Now, a lot of people always question whether or not riding is good therapy, and I think a generic answer for that would be yes. Provides an opportunity to get outside, to look at things further away, which we know is healthier for you, instead of looking at your screen or looking at, you know, a book for long periods of time. Getting outside and just looking at things is healthy. Get fresh air, get out, get some sunlight, get to explore. Sunlight on most days, not today. I think there can be some dangers that are presented with it, though. As I mentioned in my last video, I looped my bike over backwards the last time that I had ridden, and that's not healthy. Almost killed me and all the other things surrounding that, but I was not in a good headspace. So I think if you're looking to use a motorcycle for therapy purposes, you need to really take a deep look inside yourself and see if you're in a good headspace to be able to use it for that. I did that this morning. I know I'm in a good headspace, and I know that nothing inside me wants to go through that injury again. So riding very safe, very cautiously. It's a beautiful day outside, even with the clouds. Go through in a low gear so we don't scare them. Why do we make mistakes? Why did I have to go through that learning experience of wrecking my bike? I think an easy answer to that is it's an opportunity to learn. I don't know why I needed that opportunity to learn, but something out there thought that I needed it. So I think how we react to what happens to us is very important in life. A lot of that comes down to your mindset and your perspective. This can be completely absent of religion or with it. We know that everything does happen for a reason, whether that reason is our own stupidity or just the course that nature takes. You know, I think every single type of incident can be used for good. I know for me, the injury put me on bed rest for months, and I used that time to do a lot of self-reflection, use that time to go through therapy and to get my mind right. And so as much as I hate that it happened to me, I still am thankful for the opportunities that it presented for me to grow. I had a lot of issues with impulse control, still do. That led to me jumping from relationship to relationship, never giving myself time to process what happened and to take the time for myself and discover who I was, absent of somebody else. I think that is exceptionally important in a relationship, is knowing who you are without somebody else. And that's It's hard sometimes, I know. So it gave me the opportunity to work on the impulse control, because I didn't have any impulses that I could take out my emotion on. I mean, other than like maybe sitting there drinking alcohol and ODing on pain meds, which I did not do. I actually remained absent of both of those things the entire time, minus one night where I was about ready to pass out from pain. Popped a pain pill for that and didn't touch them since. I look back on that and I'm actually proud of myself for being able to do that. And I've taken that momentum from that and from other small wins that I've had and been able to push myself into being more mature with a lot of things. Now initially, when I was healed enough to be able to walk, I told myself I'm not going to get back on the bike. And I'm not going to do it for the rest of the year. I made a blanket statement, kind of the same blanket statement that I made with alcohol. It's like, I'm not going to drink ever again. And while I don't think that either of those could be inherently bad decisions, it might not be the best decision. Because the root cause here was impulse control and lack of maturity. It wasn't the bike. It wasn't the alcohol. And I sat there and thought about it. I'm like, well, I can apply that to everything that I've been doing up to this point in my life. Every decision that I've been making. The jumping from the relationships. The being selfish in my marriage and not taking care of my wife the way that she needed to be taken care of. So instead of just slapping a band-aid on it and saying, I'm not going to ride, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I dug deeper and I was like, okay, I want to attack these specific issues. I need to be a less impulsive person. I need to take that time to have a second loop, so to speak, in the brain of, okay, is this actually smart? Is this something I should actually do? And I'm working on it right now as we speak, being on the bike. My impulse would be right now to be like, oh, these cars are slow, I like this fast twisty section, I'm going to pass them on a double yellow. Or, yeah, I've been through a couple straight stretches right here, I want to pop the front wheel up. And those are not healthy impulses to have, for very obvious reasons. It does not benefit me to do those things in the long run. I want to live a long and healthy, happy life. I am going to make every decision that I can to make sure that that happens. One of the things that I've been doing lately too over the last few months is waking up every day, and before I do anything, I mean, I'm probably going to go straight to the toilet or something, but before I go and do any of my morning activities, my breakfast, my getting dressed, anything like that, I sit there and I think to myself, okay, what kind of day do I want to have today? And I am consciously making a daily decision to choose to have a good day in spite of any of the circumstances that come up. It doesn't matter what happens, I can use anything that comes up as an opportunity to learn and grow from. I choose to be happy. I choose to smile at people, smile at strangers. I want to be the reason that somebody else's day has been improved. I've been on the other side of that, where I was having a less than optimal day, walking, like something as simple as walking into a gas station or walking into my local market and having somebody smile and genuinely ask me how I was doing. And even though I didn't have a good answer for them, having that thought in the back of my head that, hey, there's somebody out there that cares about me that I don't even know. That's a good feeling. I want to be that person for other people. It was funny, earlier on the bike, I'm sitting here doing this right here, and then somebody else starts doing it in their car, and it was really fun. They got, I got a wave out of it, they waved back at me, and I made their day. Maybe not made their day, but, I was at least a part of making their day a little bit happier than it was before. And I want to strive to be that. I want to strive to be that in relationships, too. I want to be a help to my friends. I want to be a counselor in a sense, right? If they come to me with specific issues that I might be able to help them on, I would love to be that for them. A little bit of moisture out today. I hope the camera's not getting fogged up, but we'll see. Hope the roads don't get too moist either. I think it goes without saying that could be taken a lot faster, but no need to push it. I don't know where it's going to go with these moto vlogs. If I had to guess, I'm probably going to make 2 or 3 more of these and then call it good. I don't like social media attention. I don't have social media. And that came with a little bit of maturity. I used to crave it. I had an Instagram for my truck page and like did all these things, and it felt empty. And you know, there's no real connection in it. And then like at the end of the day, why am I out here seeking gratification or seeking validation from people online? I think one of the more driving reasons behind me making this video is to just kind of vent. I do this normally anyway when I'm riding. If I'm riding by myself or if I'm doing certain activities by myself, I will just vent out loud. I'm hoping that some of these ramblings could potentially help somebody that's going through something similar. So, if that's the case, happy. Makes me happy. It's me helping somebody else in a way that I've been helped. And asking for help is not a bad thing, and seeking help is not a bad thing. A lot of times, especially as men, we run into this stigma where we feel like we're not allowed to ask for help. Especially when it comes down to emotional things. We feel like that we always have to be the tough ones and that we have to stuff it all deep down inside and not talk about it, not even think about it, right? We bury it down deep down inside of ourselves that we don't even admit it to ourselves most times. Again, I can promise you that is not the answer. It will come out eventually. Friends! Look at all those friends. Makes me want to go join them. Oh, one of them is my neighbor. That's cool. We cannot afford to do that to those that we love. Because not only is it a disservice to ourselves to stuff things down inside and not address them, but it's a disservice to those around us. If we truly care and love other people, we should be capable of loving ourselves. And loving ourselves to the point of wanting to self-improve and wanting to get ourselves out of a headspace, a situation, a mentality, something that is not healthy for us. I hate using the word owe because at the end of the day, you know, you're going to do what you're going to do, and you don't really owe anybody anything. But on the flip side of that coin, if you make a commitment to somebody, a spouse, a friend, anybody that you care about, and you make a commitment to them to be friends with them, to be in a relationship with them at any level, you need to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward to the best of your ability. You're going to have down days, and that's okay. That's allowed. We do not have to be perfect every day. And if you have a friend, like I'll say specifically in a friendship in this sense, if you have a friend that does not want to continue their friendship because you've had one down day or a couple down days, then maybe they were not a friend that was meant to stay in your life. Now, there's a difference between having a couple down days and then consistently making dumb decisions. I have been both of those friends before. I would like to think that I'm no longer making consistent dumb decisions. I'm trying to be intentional with everything that I do right now. My intent for going out on this ride right now is that I can vent, I can process my thoughts, I can test my microphone, stuff like that. I'm not just absent-mindedly doing this. I don't want to absent-mindedly do anything anymore. What I was doing, last couple years with writing was I was just using it as a coping mechanism for a lot of the issues that I was going through. And instead of intentionally addressing the issues, I would just be like, oh, I'm just going to go ride my bike and not feel anything for a little bit. And not the answer. Every time that I was riding, I was getting more and more careless. More and more of a silly goose when it came down to what I was doing, where I was doing it. Man, one of these houses would be really nice to have. That one's really nice in general. Probably $1.5 million though. It's a little out of the budget, I think. Cowboy on the phone, on the horse. I wonder if that's illegal, because I know you can't drive and be on the phone. I know you can't be using your hands when you're talking on the bike, which I don't know how that'll work if you're wearing a helmet anyway. Like on a horse though, I mean, because you can get a DUI on a horse. So could you get a ticket for texting and riding? I don't know. Poor guys. I never see happy road cyclists. They're always out here and miserable. I ride mountain bikes myself, and I've always heard that a roadie or a road cyclist will hate the ride while he's doing it, but then be happy afterwards and brag about it afterwards. And my counter to that is, well, why don't you ride a mountain bike and then you love the ride while you're doing it, doing your jumps, doing your twisties, enjoying the beautiful scenery instead of asphalt, and then you can also brag about it and have fun thinking about it afterwards. I don't know, never made sense to me. Just seems like a lot of extra work for no benefit. I mean, cool, you ride around, where's the downhill? Where's the jumps? I don't know. I guess that just comes down to a commitment thing. Commitment is important, especially in this type of stuff. It comes down to your mental, your physical health, things like that. You're not always going to have the motivation to work on yourself, to go to the gym, to read those books, to go to therapy, all these things, right? And my counter to that is that motivation is emotionally driven in most cases, right? I would say in all cases it is emotionally driven, and emotions at the end of the day are just chemicals bouncing around inside of our head saying, oh, we're happy about this today, or no, we are sad about this today. And it's those chemicals are never going to be in perfect balance because we eat different foods, we experience different things, we get different amounts of sleep each day. So bottom line is that motivation is never going to be consistent and it is never going to be reliable. You cannot wait for motivation. You cannot be reliant upon it because it's going to just be a fleeting thought, a fleeting thing. What is far more important and far more sustainable is commitment and dedication. And I know that I'm simplifying it here, but like, oh, just go work out, dude. Like, but at the end of the day, it's just that simple. Go to the gym. Go have the hard conversations with people. Go read that book. Go make that food and eat it. And I'll simplify it a little bit more than that because, it gets overwhelming. You think, oh man, I want to do all this stuff at once. If you're somebody that wants to make a positive change, right? And you got to take a step back before all of this and even say, do I want something better for myself? Do I want my life to be better? I think most people would answer yes. If your answer to that is no, you need to go seek a little bit more professional help. And it's not a bad thing, right? You can still care about yourself. I have been in this spot where I've cared about myself, but genuinely, in that moment, I didn't know if I wanted anything better for myself. I didn't feel I deserved it. I've been there. It's not a fun place to be. And it feels hopeless. It can feel bottomless. For me, I didn't really seek the help that I should have right away. I sought it a little bit later on. Thank God I didn't do anything too stupid other than flipping this thing over backwards. But organizing it a little bit better, when you make the decision to want a better life for yourself, take baby steps. It can be really overwhelming if you try to just do everything all at once. You can't change your meal plan, change your entire workout routine, change your entire schedule overnight. I mean, you could, and you could try it, but it's going to shock your body. You're going to end up hyper fatigued. You're going to start struggling at work. Your mental is going to be a little overwhelmed. You got to take baby steps. So start with something simple. A statement that I've come to really love and live by. I'm relating this specifically to the gym, but it can be related to a lot more than just that. 10% effort is better than 0% effort. Even if I'm unmotivated to go to the gym that day, or I am sore, or I am tired, or whatever, I'm still going to go in there and give 10% minimum. Right? My goal is always 100. But if I can't hit that 100 that day, that's fine. I'll forgive myself. I'll get over it. Let's see where I can flip a U-turn. Let's just do it right here. A little bit of gravel. You can apply that to more things in life, right? I cannot be expected to give 100% of myself every single day. To myself, to other people, like I can't make that commitment. I will try, and I have made that commitment to myself and others, that I will always try my best. But sometimes my best is only going to be 40, 50%. And it might not be that at all things. Maybe one day I'm really good at eating, but I'm not feeling energetic to work out. I'm still going to go give that effort in the gym, but I know that it's not going to be the best. I got hung up a lot of times, and some people could probably relate to this. I'm an all or nothing type person. I'm working on breaking that. But it would get to the point where, like, I would miss a gym session, and I'd be like, man, you know what, I'm pissed off about it, I'm upset, I feel like I'm not making any progress, I'm just not going to do anything else for the rest of the day either. I'm not going to hit my step goal, I'm not going to hit my nutrition goals, I'm not going to hit my mental self-esteem goals, and I really let it get to me. And you can't do that. You got to look at the bigger picture and say, okay, I can make little bits of improvement here. And little things. Not everything, but those little things. I mean, there's that silly story about that guy who ate a bicycle, right? From scratch, like, just ate the whole thing. And everybody asked him, well, how did you do it? Really tiny bites. That's how we have to approach life. You can't be successful overnight. You can't go from high school McDonald's job to being a CEO overnight. You have to make those committed choices every single day, you know, or most days. Give yourself grace if you miss one. But you have to make those commitments to yourself every single day to wake up, to choose to be the best version of yourself, choose to be your favorite version of yourself, and to be successful in the little things. Once you find out how to be successful in the little things, the medium-sized things will come along. Just pretty soon you'll be building a workout schedule, building a nutrition plan, and then eventually it's just going to be part of your day-to-day routine. And there's something to be said about getting complacent in a routine. I'll touch on that in a second. But once it becomes routine, your body, remember those chemicals I was talking about earlier? Those chemicals that are driving your emotions are going to be used to going to the gym every day. They're going to be used to exhausting your adrenals and pushing yourself. And your mind is going to be used to you building yourself up and making healthy decisions. And it's going to crave it. And that's where that motivation comes in. For me, motivation's not a thing anymore. I wonder if he rides or... Interesting. Motivation's not a thing for me anymore. It's just natural. There are days that I feel unmotivated, but I don't even question it. I still go. And that took me years to get to. I'd like to think that I could have done it a lot faster had I gotten over some other deep-rooted mental things first. I grew up not thinking that I was not good enough. I was always a skinny kid. Relating specifically to like physicality stuff, I was 128 pounds when I got out of high school, and then for the first few years out of high school I remained right around that weight. Earlier this year I got myself up to 193, I think. I've dropped down quite a bit significantly over the course of this year due to all the stressors, and then just you know, you lose a lot of muscle mass when you don't move, and I didn't move for a couple months there because I couldn't walk. So, but once I got through that, I've started getting back into the gym now. I'm not going for any kind of crazy weight numbers, you know. I've always liked the thought of being 200 pounds, but at the end of the day, my body is going to be happy where it's happy, and I've accepted that that's just who I am. I'm still going to make the healthy decisions, eat well, work out, lift heavy, lift smart. But there are some goals sometimes where you need to reassess them. That's kind of what I was getting about earlier about complacency and the routine. A lot of times in my life, and then I've talked to other people about this, they get complacent in their routine to the point where they're not making improvements and they're losing the purpose behind it. Purpose is allowed to change over time, right? Originally for me, I just wanted to put on weight. I wanted to be bigger. I wanted to stop being the toothpick, the skinny pretzel. or whatever nicknames you could come up with, Flaco, like, you name it, I've been called it. And I wanted to not be that anymore. And my goals have changed a lot since then. I originally went from that to then being like, okay, well, I want to be a hybrid athlete. I want to hit these numbers. I want to be super fast at running. I want to be able to lift X amount of weight, to now I want to live a happy and healthy life and be able to hold my kids, should I be able to have kids one day. And I want to be able to go do any activity or sport with them and to be capable of doing it without pain. And so for me to do that, it's kind of a more hybrid lifestyle. I do my running, I do my hiking, I do my everything like that. It's less tracked than like a progressive overload workout. I'm not sitting here tracking every single weight, but in that moment I am pushing myself to that failure threshold or to that hypertrophy threshold and going from there. And it's going to adjust again. I know that right now I don't have the best plan, and I would like to improve on it. But that comes with time and then life goals. That whole ideology that, you know, your mission dictates your tactics, it's the same with your day-to-day life. Your goals will define your plan and define your schedule. Silly adventure rider standing up. I also ride adventure bikes, and I also like standing up. So yeah, those are some just quick thoughts today. I'm gonna go home and see how this video looks and sounds. I've got probably too dark of a filter on here for today. I've got an ND32. I should be running with more of a probably an ND16 or something. Brother. Anyway, put the camera away and see if I make another one later.